What's up guys, Jack here from J&J Reviews. The video on this review is not really working with my editing system for some reason. It's only picking up my audio, so just going to be doing an audio review for this one. Sorry for the inconvenience, but let's get into Tomorrowland. So Tomorrowland is directed by Brad Bird and it stars George Clooney and Britt Robertson. And going into this, I was really excited because Brad Bird's one of my favorite directors and this cast sounds great. Disney's behind it, so you know that's got to be good, so I had really high expectations going into Tomorrowland. Now, I had no problems with how this movie was directed or acted. I thought Britt Robertson was great in the role. She brought a nice energy to her. She was all witty and scared all the time, so I thought she was fine. George Clooney is George Clooney in the movie. There's not much really to complain about. He just does what he does. And I thought the two chemistry they had together really worked for the movie, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Brad Bird, while he is a great director, I don't think he was given enough opportunities to express what he can do in this movie. Obviously there's some visually amazing scenes in this that are worth checking out in the theater, but overall I think really a wasted opportunity with his talents, and I think we could have gotten a lot more use out of him and his visual style of directing. Now my issues with Tomorrowland lie within the story. Really going into it, I was expecting we were going to spend a majority of our time on Tomorrowland and on that world and learning about it. But really this movie is just one big chase scene trying to get to Tomorrowland, and once we get there, it's really just kind of disappointing what this movie actually turns out to be versus what I was expecting it to be. So maybe I just should have not had so many expectations for it, but I really thought this was going to be a more knowledgeable and in-depth movie than it turned out to be. The main message of this movie is really something we've already seen before. It's the dreamers versus the skeptics, if you will. And I think we've seen this in so many different films that this really wasn't anything new or original, which I found disappointing for such an original movie for it to have such a replayed message. Also, I was really disappointed in how brashly they beat this message over our heads. The last half hour, 45 minutes really just felt like they were assaulting us with this message. I had to check my head at one point to make sure it was still attached because I just felt that they were banging this over our heads a little too repeatedly and often. So overall, Tomorrowland, while I wasn't expecting this just outstanding movie, I was expecting a lot from this film because of the director, cast, and the studio that produced it. So overall, the main word for this film is disappointing. I was disappointed in the story and how everything went out, and I really wanted to see more of Tomorrowland, and I thought they really wasted an opportunity with Brad Bird and his visual style in this film. This movie really, at the end, feels like a prequel to a movie I really wanted to see. I'm going to go ahead and give Tomorrowland a 6.25 out of 10. It's not a terrible movie, it's not a bad movie even at that. It's just surprising to me how mediocre and unoriginal this film was, considering all of the factors I've already said and the fact that it is an original concept.